Breaking news, everyone. The man who rapped, "We plotted for a week and then we fed you the litigation. You diss me so bad I gotta sue you for defamation," has now officially withdrawn his petition against UMG and Spotify after allegedly reaching an agreement with both parties. Now, after being the first rapper in hip-hop history to sue over the gargantuous loss that he took from a diss song, Lawbury attorney Graham is now officially withdrawing his petition, withdrawing his request from UMG and Spotify to hand over all their data related to the promotional tactics they used to help Kendrick's Not Like Us record attain the success that it did. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that song generated in 2024 alone, in less than 6 months, over $7 million, while both of Drake's diss records against Kendrick failed to generate over $1 million respectively. So just to put into perspective the type of pressure that Kendrick was putting on Drake, he beat him at his own game. He crushed him in the sales department, and now the world is chanting OVHO and certified PDF file, and Drake had enough, sued his own record label, UMG, for promoting the song, even though it was released through Drake's own record label, and he's now walking that all back, Tootsie sliding out of this lawsuit, twerking with Sexy Red out of the courthouse, going home to cuddle up with DJ Akademiks, and dismissing this entire case. Now, Drake had initially filed a legal petition against UMG and Spotify for allegedly inflating the numbers of Kendrick's Not Like Us diss. Drake claimed that UMG and Spotify conspired to make sure that the song topped the charts. Drake had filed this as a petition to, again, collect information from UMG and Spotify to see if he had enough proof to actually file a full-on lawsuit. UMG responded by basically saying all artists will receive fair treatment, and it's not their fault that people chose to listen to the songs that they listened to, aka Drake. Even though you're our artist, it's not our fault that you lost this battle. And Spotify basically echoed similar statements, stating that all the promotional tactics they use were generic promotional tactics that are offered to any and every artist. For example, the Marquee program, which allows artists and labels to basically get less royalties from the streams that their songs receive, and in return, Spotify will put them on more playlists and give them better placements on the home section of the app. And Spotify basically said, like Drake, everyone is allowed to use this program. If Kendrick's team decided to use it and yours didn't, it's simply because they not like us. And that was essentially all we heard from both UMG and Spotify. There was supposed to be an official hearing later this month where I'm assuming both UMG and Spotify would come forward with clear arguments as to why they shouldn't have to hand over their internal data to Drake's team, and Drake would have made the case for why he believes UMG and Spotify were conspiring to allegedly inflate the numbers of Not Like Us. This would have been a very interesting hearing because it would have revealed any evidence that Drake thought he had that would allegedly expose behind the scenes malpractice within the industry. And now we unfortunately will not be privy to any of that information. Or maybe, just maybe, Drake never had it in the first place. Anyways, Drake withdrew the petition against UMG and Spotify on January 14th, which was yesterday. The rapper and his legal team sat down with the companies earlier in the day. The petition was withdrawn in the state of New York, and it's been stated that there will not be cost to any party as a result, meaning that Drake is not going to demand any money from Spotify or UMG for the alleged inflating of the numbers of Not Like Us that he was accusing them of doing, and UMG and Spotify will not demand any money from Drake's team for any legal fees incurred from this, petition BS, any lawyer fees that went into them drawing up their statements in response to this petition, etc. It's important to note, however, that Drake also filed a petition in Texas. He filed one in New York against UMG and Spotify, and another one in Texas against UMG and iHeartMedia, which is a radio company, and Drake there was accusing them of defamation, allegedly using payola to have Not Like Us played on the radio over and over again. And so the petition in New York that was filed against UMG and Spotify, that's now been withdrawn. They came to some sort of agreement, but the petition in Texas against UMG and iHeartMedia is still active, and it wasn't addressed by Drake's legal team. Not yet, at least. So Drake's team released an official legal document stating that Frozen Moments, Drake's company, hereby withdraws its order to show cause seeking pre-action disclosure and preservation of certain documents and communications from respondent UMG Records and pre-action disclosure of certain documents and communications from respondent Spotify, with exhibits originally filed in New York Supreme Court on November 25th, 2024. As a side note, time flies. It doesn't feel like 2 months ago that Drake broke the record for being the first rapper to sue over a rap beef. It continued on by saying, "Please take further notice that petitioner hereby voluntarily discontinues this special proceeding as to all respondents without cost to any party. Plaintiffs met and conferred with respondents on January 14th regarding this filing." And this is where it gets interesting. It says, respondent Spotify, which has filed an opposition to the order to show cause, responded that Spotify has no objection to the withdrawal and discontinuance, aka Spotify, who had already come out and said the predicate of Drake's entire request for discovery from Spotify is false. Spotify and UMG have never had any such arrangement, basically refuting all the claims that Drake made, and as a result stating that there's no need for them to hand over or disclose any documents or data. They now have no objection to the withdrawal of the petition. So basically they're completely all right with this petition being withdrawn and everyone just kind of walking away as is. But as for UMG, however, they have not yet filed an opposition to the order to show cause, and they've reserved their position, meaning that UMG has not formally responded to Drake's petition or his withdrawal of it. The co-founder of AudioMac, Brian Zizuk, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, he goes by Z on Twitter. He has a lot of interesting perspective on the politics within the music business and behind the scenes in general. He tweeted out saying, "The discontinuance means the case will not move forward in court as filed. The withdrawal suggests Frozen Moments, Drake's company, and UMG reached a private resolution, or Drake's legal team reassessed the legal merits of their petition." Spotify basically said, "That all sounds good, LOL." So it's interesting, right? Because the case against UMG with iHeartMedia in Texas is still wide open. But with Drake withdrawing this one, it either means that UMG made him some sort of offer that was adequate in terms of what he was looking for, or he realized he simply had no case. We do know that this lawsuit was also coming off the heels of Drake's contract with UMG allegedly being up and him being up for renegotiations. A lot of people were speculating that because he was up for renegotiations, UMG specifically overpromoted Not Like Us to defame Drake so that his reputation and his overall brand would be tarnished, which means when he came back around to renegotiate his contract, he would not be in a position where he could ask for more money from UMG because his brand was no longer as valuable. This is at least what Drake fans speculate. And so the reason he filed this petition was to fight back for UMG trying to defame him so that they have the upper hand in their negotiations with him. People were also wondering, with Drake announcing that he has a new album with Party Next Door on the way, how is he about to release new music when he's in this sort of legal battle with his own record label? We saw Lil Wayne a few years prior be in a similar legal battle to Universal Music Group, but that was over unpaid royalties for his music, unpaid advances from Cash Money, which is the record label Lil Wayne was signed to that's owned by UMG. So Lil Wayne turned his lawsuit from Cash Money onto UMG and they ended up settling. But before any settlement was established, Lil Wayne was not able to release new music. So it's possible that because this would have been a long-winded legal battle if Drake did end up suing, and because there was not much precedent, because no situation like this has ever happened in the history of hip-hop, this case would have definitely been drawn out for a long period of time. The evidence that Drake came with also was not very concrete. Like, he was citing this guy that hopped on Akademiks stream who claimed that he was paid by Kendrick's team to deploy bots to Not Like Us to boost the streams when it first came out. Then Akademiks himself came out and said that he spoke to executives at Spotify who clarified to him that this wasn't the case. Drake also included the NFR guys in his lawsuit, stating that they were paid by UMG to promote the song. He also cited Jeremy Hecht, who noted that when you ask Siri to play Certified Lover Boy, it plays the record Not Like Us, and Drake thought this was some sort of conspiracy by UMG or the streaming companies to shove the song in your face, I guess. But this was quickly debunked because Not Like Us contains the lyrics Certified Lover Boy, And Siri or Apple has this feature where if you name the lyrics of a song, you don't have to name the actual title and it'll still play the song. Like if you say Siri, play drop, 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 it's going to play you Family Matters because those lyrics are in the song. That's why when Jeremy said play Certified Lover Boy, it played Not Like Us because Kendrick says Certified Lover Boy in that song. So just to show you, this was the standard of evidence that Drake was coming with to the courts to say, hey, look at all this evidence. I want you to go to UMG and say, give Drake all your documents, your internal data, so he can see if you guys artificially inflated the numbers of Not Like Us to mess with his career. My guess is this evidence wasn't enough. Drake didn't think he had a solid enough case and probably knew it would be a very long strung out legal battle with UMG, which would cause him a long period of not being able to release music, while they also would definitely not be incentivized to promote them nearly as heavily as they were in the past, which would destroy his reputation and brand even further. It was probably easier to just drop the whole thing to begin with, but it makes you wonder, did Drake settle with UMG outside of court? Is he going to sign back with them? Is he going to go independent? What route will he take? Because if this didn't draw bad blood with his own record label, I don't know what would. And to be on the bad side of a massive industry giant like a UMG will make it much harder for Drake to thrive in the music industry than any Kendrick Lamar diss ever could. But it's interesting because just a couple days ago, some DMs had leaked where Drake was discussing this issue with Universal and said, me and UMG is like if Nike was funding a campaign about LeBron cheating on his wife. Not Adidas or Reebok. Nike, the company he has been with since he started. My situation is not no street stuff. Everybody before me that tried the label was too eccentric, so they wrote them off as crazy, and they never had to pay for their sins and mistakes. I'm going to change that and make the building a safer place for every artist moving forward. I don't see how suing for defamation over a rap battle is going to make the UMG building a safer place for artists moving forward, or any artist who wants to engage in a rap battle, because now they have to worry about getting sued by their opponent for the lyrics in their record. I mean, is it not enough that Cobb County was trying to use Young Thug's lyrics against him in a RICO case, and the prosecutors literally started rapping lyrics that Young Thug never rapped in his career to try to use those lyrics against him, tying him to crimes off of lyrics that he never even rapped? I mean, you allegedly came home and gave Young Thug $1 million when he got released from jail. Now you're doing something worse than the prosecutors did in that case, suing over rap lyrics that you didn't like. It's not like you didn't mention Kendrick's family. It's not like you didn't call him a woman abuser. It's not like both you and him were releasing these diss songs on the same record label. And it's not like you made any mention in your petition that Family Matters was shadow banned on Spotify or not promoted in the same capacity as Not Like Us was. It's not like you said you had any disadvantage from your record label to promote your diss record as heavily as Kendrick did. You just looked at the success of Not Like Us and said, I don't like that, so I'm going to sue my record label for doing their job and promoting it. And then trying to frame it like you're going to make them pay for their sins and mistakes, as if you didn't use these same promotional tactics to plaster your Scorpion album on every Spotify playlist, all over Spotify's charts, so much so that I believe Spotify had to pay their users some of their subscription money back because these users were so upset that they kept seeing your face on jazz playlists or gospel playlists that Spotify was obviously just putting you on to boost your numbers. You've engaged in these same sins and mistakes. But if you really did think that this was you making the building a safer place for artists moving forward, then why did you withdraw this petition only 2 months after filing it? At least if you're going to fight this fight because you think it's a good fight, don't back down now just because you got some settlement from UMG or because you feel like the odds are stacked against you. When your mentor Kanye West feels like he's being done wrong, he cancels himself, destroys all ties to all record labels, all fashion companies, goes complete off the grid, and becomes independent and financially free. You try to compare your actions to that in terms of fighting against the labels for their sins and changing and making the building a safer place. And now, just as quickly as you file the petition, you decide to withdraw it. It really makes you wonder, what does Drake have up his sleeve for the future? I mean, there's obviously a lot of restructuring he's going to have to do with his brand, with the next record contract he jumps into, with the type of music he releases. I mean, we've seen him more on streams in the last few months than we have actually in a studio making new music. And when he does make new music, it's in this weird way of releasing it that's almost like a protest against his record label, where he's putting it up on Instagram, then they're putting copyright strikes to take it down, then he's posting those copyright strikes on his story. Then they're posting these songs on Apple Music with cryptic descriptions like, oh, if you want to sift through Drake's data dump of 100 gigs of files, then go right ahead, or you can just come to Apple Music to listen to the music where we can profit off it. You also just saw his Fighting Irish freestyle leak online, and then UMG copyrighted it and got it taken down. In that freestyle, he was kind of alluding to the fact that him and LeBron James were on the outs and kind of threatening LeBron to destroy his public image. Then in a leaked DM, he's talking about fighting the good fight against UMG, but also comparing that to Nike exposing LeBron for cheating on his wife. Then he's lying to Akademiks, saying that these texts aren't real. Then they get exposed as being real. I mean, if Kendrick said one thing that's definitely true and can't be used as defamation against Drake in this battle, it's that the famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now spiraling. One day he's suing the record label, then the next day he withdraws from it. One day he's sneak dissing LeBron. Then the next day, he's talking about LeBron cheating on his wife. Then he's saying these DMs are cap. He's mean mugging DeMar DeRozan at basketball games. Then a couple weeks later, he goes to another basketball game and announces that he's banned from doing any sort of reporting at the games, or at least for the next year.
As a defender now.
Shot doesn't go. Mitchell the corner three. No long rebound for Curry. Curry cut off by Brady. Here's Wiggins.
Good old 1 year ban.
Curry knocked away a late whistle.
It was good while it lasted, Daddy. You know what I mean? R.I.P. I'll be back one day.
He's doing streams with these random gambler streamers who don't even know his music.
And it's on Scorpion.
What's that? Wait, is that an album name?
Yeah, it's my name. It's my
Yeah,
album.
because album names, I'm not a name guy.
Okay, whatever. It's a song.
So it's an older, right? Because it's an older album.
Yeah.
What color is the album? Scorpion. What color is it?
Black
and gray. Man, I'm gonna make a fool of myself. Black and gray. It's headlines.
Jaded.
Close.
Hopping on these streams saying that rap music is weird nowadays.
I feel like I want to hear what you would listen to.
Okay,
That's
I'll
what I
play right now
wanna-
then.
Yeah. Rap music is weird now anyway. I want to hear what you listen to.
He's calling pop singers like The Weeknd or Steve Lacy his fragile ops.
You have to switch this song though.
It's on a play, you know. It's like,
You have to switch this one. We're real sixers. We're real sixers. They're real six side. We don't listen to that. Guy's like a fragile op, but it's a good song though.
it's a fragile op. Okay, interesting.
He's like a fragile op, but it's a good song though.
What does that mean? A fragile op? No.
Chat knows what I'm talking about. Fragility.
I mean, everything about what Drake has been doing lately just seems very confused. It seems like he's confused on the next steps he should take in his career, how he should release music. I thought that whole 100 gigs thing was kind of a creative idea. Then he seemed to completely abandon it. Then he starts promoting this new album with Party Next Door. He alleges that it was supposed to be released in November, but something pushed it back, and ironically, Kendrick Lamar released GNX in November. Then he threatens to sue the label. Now he withdraws any of his threats, possibly because he's renegotiating a new contract so he can stop receiving these copyright strikes on his own music from his rich baby daddy Lucien, as Kanye would put it. I think this is the first time in Drake's career that we've ever seen him in a true position of weakness and confusion. And all the flip-flopping, all the gossiping about LeBron or Steve Lacy or The Weeknd, all the comments about rap being dead or about DeMar DeRozan while he's playing a basketball game, just make Drake look like a sore loser. So let me know in the comments, do you think he lost this battle against UMG? Do you think he pulled this petition because he figured there's no evidence that he truly has, no case he truly has, and that he'd be destroying his career by even trying to concoct a lawsuit with the evidence he has? Or do you think UMG came to him with some sort of agreement or settlement and that was good enough for Drake to shut up and keep it pushing? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.